can possibly do. So I wanted to go as back as far as possible when looking at DDG's hair, and just to see where he started. Now I feel like for a lot of us, we remember DDG with the 2-strand twist, or even just with the high top fade with the curly hair on top. So I wanted to take it back a little bit further than that to really see where his hair started out. And of course there's many things that we can look at from this picture, including his hair type, which just lets us know that his hair type is a 4B, could possibly even be a 4C as well. But regardless, they pretty much both go in that category of the 4, which is an extremely tight curl pattern, which I just want to add on to that it makes dreadlocks very easy to get. Now let's talk about dreadlock suitability really quickly, because I mentioned it in mostly all of my videos, but for everyone new out there, I want to mention this just for you guys. And if you are new, make sure to subscribe, because it's always good to watch these videos for dreadlock inspiration. But dreadlock suitability, does that mean that some people can have dreadlocks and some people can't? That's simply not the case. It just means that some people have more suitable hair for dreadlocks. With that being said, if you have a tighter curl pattern, it makes it easier for the hair to actually lock up. And on the flip side, if you have a straighter hair type, it makes it a little bit more tough, and also you have less methods to choose from in order to get dreadlocks. So a quick rundown: if you have straight hair, you're typically going to choose a method like instant locking with the crochet hook, or twist and rip and then follow it up with crochet hooking, or back combing and then also following that up with crochet hooking, or twist and rip and then go into palm rolling. But really there's only about 4 or 5 methods you would really want to choose that would really benefit your dreadlocks in the long run. But when you have a 4C hair type, you can choose methods like twisting with gel, 2-strand twist, braid locks, instant locks using the crochet hook. You can do interlocking using the interlock tool. You can do twist and rip if you wanted to, but it's not recommended because you do have tight enough curl pattern to do another method that works better for your hair type. You could do back combing if you wanted to, but the same thing applies. You could do palm rolling, which palm rolling is one of the most underrated methods to use. But you can already see right there that there are quite a few more methods you can choose with a tighter curl pattern. And not only that, but the hair locks up way faster with a tighter curl pattern. But that doesn't mean that you can't get dreadlocks with a straighter hair type. It just means it's a little tougher and you're going to have to put in the extra work. And for me, I always recommend anybody who watches my videos with straight hair just to get the Great Locks crochet hook. It makes everything 100 times easier. And you can ask anybody who's used it because it really works. But just from that first photo to now, what we see with his dreadlocks, I mean, we see he has very well maintained roots. The hairstyles that he does are really clean. And we do see him now with the bleached dreadlocks, which at first I did a video on him when he did dye his hair, and I was a little iffy about it because we typically see people like Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Pump, Young Thug, and many other people who have bleached and dyed their hair, and it's almost ruined it to a certain point. Now of course there's ways to bleach and dye the hair without damaging it as much, but I also want to tag on, if you're bleaching and dyeing your hair, I know there's a stigma out there that people say that you will kill off your hair. And let's face it, once the hair grows out of the scalp, it's no longer living. So when people say that you're killing your hair, it's kind of their way of just saying that you're drying out the hair. And realistically, all of your hair's nutrients and oils and moisture comes from the scalp. So as long as your scalp is healthy, then the rest of your hair is going to be relatively healthy. That's why I always recommend people not to bleach and dye all the way down to the roots, because then you have the potential of getting that onto your scalp, and that's where you run into issues. But that's a whole other story. I just want to caution you guys, if you're bleaching and dyeing your hair, make sure to watch the proper videos and take the proper precautions before doing it. And if you're like me, I think just the natural hair color looks the best on you. But of course, if you want to switch things up, you can completely do that. But I've actually challenged myself to not bleach or dye my dreadlocks so that I can see what my hair looks like naturally, because the hair begins to turn colors and all kinds of things when you allow it to do its own thing. So I would challenge you guys to do the same thing as well. But overall, like I said guys, he has some really clean sections, really clean hairstyles. Right here we see him with the 2-strand twist, and I'm actually going to be doing a video on 2-strand twist on my main channel really soon, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys haven't subscribed to my main channel, Gunther the Great, make sure to do so, it's in the description down below. But I think we all can agree that his hair has definitely taken a transformation, and I would encourage all of you guys out there as well. If you want to transform the way that your hair looks, then just try something new. And that's really the cool thing about your own hair, is you really can explore. And I will say that the longer that your hair is, the more options you do have. And I'll also tag onto that there is a sweet spot of hair length in order to start dreadlocks, or any hairstyle for that matter. I would say the sweet spot is 4 to 6 inches on any hair type. Obviously with straighter hair you would need some longer hair, but that's why I said 4 to 6 inches. But you guys, I want to hear what you have to say down below, so make sure to comment down below what you think about DDG's dreadlocks. In my opinion, he has some of the best dreadlocks in the game because they're super clean and very well put together, and it's really